We are live! Welcome to Speculation Sunday on a Tuesday! Welcome, everybody. I know it's unusual day for a Speculation Sunday. But it's just the way the week's gone. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know it's at 2:30 or 2:45, but we got Just Ask Danny in the house.
Hello.
Danny, how are you doing, dude? How are you doing, man?
Good. We had some fun. You and I going to Knott's the other day. Finally doing Ghost Town Alive. You're going to be headed back this week to do Summer Nights. So. It's nice. It's been nice to get some meal plans in at Knott's.
Yeah, no, I haven't used it enough. I feel this year so far. I got to keep going to Knott's. Get my meal plans. What's up, Booze? Thank you, everybody. Was Jurassic World Rebirth bad? I put my review on Twitter. That's where I stand. I was just talking to Danny before we went live. Danny says I hated it because I was in literal front row. and he said, any movie you watch in the front row, you're just going to hate it. We have it for next week, so I'll watch it again. Are we watching it like in any special kind of theater, Danny, or just a regular?
Just laser. Okay. So like better color. That's all.
All right. What's up, Goth Vlogger? Just got out of an interview for a promotion. Went well. Hey, I hope you get it. Our Knott's Adventure. Happy Tuesday. What's up, Gina? This will get me through my work day. Let's go. Sitting here at Ballistic. Is that what it's called? Ballistic Point? Ballast Point? I think it's called Ballast Point. Having a fabulous fish and chips made with mahi. Watching Speculation Sunday. Does Ballast Point have a Tuesday special thing? I never thought of that.
I didn't know. I've never honestly been to Ballast Point ever. So,
yo, what's up, Jake? Ballast Point is amazing. I have honestly, it's one of the best places at downtown Disney. I think it's just burdened that you got to go upstairs. I feel like that's kind of, it's like a barrier to entry into that place. You never know if it's busy or not because it's all upstairs. But if you haven't already, hit the like button. All right. Danny, I want to start out. Is there anything in particular that you want to talk about that you want to get going first? I'll let you start off the conversation today.
Yeah. So we talked about in January, we got that random post from Disneyland in January showcasing the all-new Napa Rose, the all-new Concierge Lounge being added to the 5th floor of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel, and then the brand new reimagined e-ticket club for Disneyland Hotel turning into the High Key Club. Well, we just got news that High Key Club will be ready for stays this month. So the High Key Club will open at some point, and when I say this month, I mean July. So
right here, this one?
Yeah, the High Key Club will be ready. So they've had some setbacks, a lot like most places do at Disneyland Resort when they're doing construction. I don't necessarily know that it's going to make the July 4th weekend. I had some people respond to me on social media asking if it would. It does. I don't know. They're still kind of working on some stuff. Maybe it does. Maybe they surprise us and totally do. Or maybe they don't. Right. So, but I would say it's a pretty safe bet to assume it's going to be open by the 70th. So.
And that's July 17th.
That's July 17th, yeah. So I'm excited to see how they redo the lounge.
How do I eat here? There's some people are like, what the hell are we talking about? How do we eat here?
Yeah, so the High Key Club is Concierge Lounge at Disneyland Hotel. So only guests who have access to the Concierge Lounge may visit the High Key Club. So whether you've booked a room that has concierge level access or you booked a suite at the Disneyland Hotel, and then paid to add concierge services to your suite. So it is a very expensive barrier to entry to be able to visit this place.
Yeah.
But
People pay
it's
every day. They pay every day.
yeah, it's always booked up. They had to expand access, right? Because it's always booked up. But I think a lot of people are interested to see how big it is and how good it looks because they took away the infamous fairy tale suite on that corner of the Disneyland Hotel Adventure Tower, the honeymoon suite, aka basically to give the Disneyland Hotel High Key Club a wraparound window. So they didn't have that wraparound window because it belonged to the fairy tale suite, but now it belongs to the club. So I'm interested to see how they've reimagined the space. I think booths are a better idea. They didn't have a lot of chairs there before, and a lot of times people with families and kids were just dragging chairs all over the club to try to fit all their kids around one tiny little small table. So I think like the booth is a great option for kids when they want to just have them sitting there, coloring and stuff like that in the club while maybe the adults are enjoying a cocktail or a glass of wine and some of the hors d'oeuvres they have set out for them.
Damn, that's some fancy stuff going on there. We got Daniel dropping a super $5. Daniel, hi, Danny Mondo. First time going to Horror Nights this year, so stoked. You chose a great year, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Went with Express and early entry. Any tips or advice? First week of October. Damn, you're set up for success. Let me just say that. Danny, go first. Because you've been in this scenario. You literally been in
this is my scenario every year, except for I don't go in October, which I should. So you're smart in going in October because it's not going to be as hot as September because September is our hottest month of the year in Southern California. So that is smart already. It's still going to probably be hot, but it won't be as hot as September. So early entry, you're just going to want to focus on getting either to the lower lot or getting to the Curious George expansion pad area. Once we have official releases from Universal on which is where, you can then prioritize which is more important for you. Because really, with that early entry period, you really only can focus on one or the other. There's not really too much time to focus on both. I mean, sometimes you can if you can really hustle it. But I would suffice it to say, I think a lot of people are going to probably choose the lower lot just because like Five Nights at Freddy's is there and a bunch of other things. So
Scarecrow,
I would assume like
Jason, lower lot.
Yeah. I would assume the Curious George expansion is obviously going to have crowds with like potentially like other major names being there, like Terrifier, right?
Poltergeist.
But like it may not be as packed as the lower lot. So that could be a move. But early entry, Express, honestly, you're going to have the best night of your life at Universal Studios Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights. And my only recommendation to you, even with both of those things, is to go early. Go early. Even go before. Like I would get to Universal Studios at like 3 p.m., 3:30. Park, go to City Walk, sit down at Antojitos or Mondo's favorite place, the Italian place. I forget what it's called.
Vivo!
And have yourself a really nice dinner and enjoy dinner and relax, and then go in for your early entry. Because the last thing you're going to want to do is try to eat when you're at Halloween Horror Nights. Not only is it super late, so for those that like maybe have issues with indigestion at night or something like that, you don't want to deal with that. So just enjoy it, having maybe a snack, something sweet, and then just enjoying your time at the Halloween Horror Nights, not having to worry about waiting in an hour and a half line for a personal pizza that's themed to Freddy Fazbear Pizza. You know what I mean?
Get pizza at Vivo. Just get your pizza at Vivo. Or that pizza slice house, something, that new pizza spot is opening at City Walk. They claim before Horror Nights, so we'll see. I don't know if I can't. I just want to say early entry and Express is a great combo to have a great day at Universal for Halloween Horror Nights. But when you are doing early entry, do not use any of your express.
Yes, that too. That's a
Yeah.
huge one.
As much as you like, I just want to skip all the lines and go right in the. You just wait a little bit of lines. It's early entry is usually less
5-10 minutes, if that.
Yeah, I was gonna say less than 30 minutes. It's usually walk-ons, but do not use your express. Just save your express till I don't know 8 o'clock, because by 8 o'clock things are probably packed because opening ceremony happened and all that good stuff. We also got Matthew Vaught, super chat. Thank you, Matthew. What's up? What's up?
We got Anakin Skywalker in the chat that says, Slice House is so good. I just had it Friday.
Okay.
So, yeah, because we're going to have Slice House open at that point and potentially Cane's, right?
Yeah, I hope Cane's is the big one, honestly. I don't eat at Cane's anymore because they got so expensive with less portion. I've seen the evolution of this. More expensive, less portion, and just not as good. But Cane's would be nice to just get that lemonade on the way home. Honestly, I love their lemonade.
I love their sweet tea, so.
Yeah, sweet tea. That's what I meant to say. Arnold Palmer. I love the Arnold Palmer at Raising Cane. I like it more than the chicken, honestly.
But yeah,
Sean,
Daniel with the super chat, he's gonna have an amazing time with ultimate setup right there.
yeah, you're good, and your express works on rides. Don't forget that. Happy birthday to Sean! Doing the premium Scream Night at HHN Orlando this year. Can't wait. Dang, you're going the what is it called? The more premium route, obviously, right?
Yeah.
It's not cheap to do that one. All right, I want to get to this, Danny, because I gotta bring it up. Hold on. I think I gotta sign in.
Sean Tucker in the chat says Vivo's Five Fires on both coasts.
Vivo exists in Florida?
Heck yeah, I've seen it there.
Wow, I had no idea. I never been to Vivo. I've been to kind of all the wacky Orlando places like
Cowfish. Chocolate Emporium over there.
Yeah, I am stupid. I will just only eat at Vivo. When I go to Orlando, I go to Vivo. And if I go to Universal Orlando, I go to that Irish pub with I don't know the name of it. Islands of Adventure, I have nowhere to eat. I have no clue where to eat at Islands of Adventure.
I just eat at Three Broomsticks.
Yeah, Three Broomsticks. But I could eat that here, Danny. I could eat Three Broomsticks.
I know. Sometimes I like to eat at Jurassic because they have a whole Jurassic Land and it's kind of like crazier than ours.
Yeah.
So I would eat there, but I ate at Cowfish like the couple times that I went recently, and then NBC Sports Grill there because it's like just huge. Massive.
They have an NBC Sports Grill too?
Well, I think it was called like Fox Sports Grill or something like that. No,
man.
They had it. I think they have an NBC Sports Grill though.
Yeah, it seems they got all the cool. They got all the cool stuff in Florida, man. We got to like.
Yeah, it's like it is. It's called the Grill and Brew. That's why NBC Sports Grill and Brew, and it's huge, and it's literally right when you walk out of like the entry plaza. It's like bam, right there.
All right. Here we go. We're in the queue. Less than 1 minute. Jamie Lynn, 29 months. $29 freaking months. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. Happy Speculation Sunday on a Tuesday. Will Oogie Boogie Bash be different at all this year? I feel that they need to completely bring some new characters. I feel the same way you do, Jamie Lynn, honestly. Thank you for 29 months. We'll answer all those questions. But let me bring this up real quick. Today, tickets went on sale for Oogie Boogie Bash. This is just an allotment that they're doing for Inspire Key. So if you have an Inspire key, you're able to buy a ticket today. It looks like we have some sold out dates, at least for Inspire. These are not sold out completely because I think tomorrow it goes on sale for the other Magic Keys. And then the very next day it goes to the public, so everybody could buy it. But it's opening day sold out. September 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 days sold out. Wow. 2 days sold out in August. Oh my gosh. Wow, dude, this is selling. This is selling amazing, in my opinion, for Disney. September got a lot of sold out dates, and then October. Look at that, the 31st. You can't even go anymore. This is to be expected. I don't know who keeps going to Oogie Boogie, but people do. It's just that there's 31 nights, and they're still selling out. How crazy! What do you think, Danny? What do you think? Are you gonna go? You're over it? How you
Yeah,
feeling
no,
about it?
I wasn't going to go unless Disney shared with us that it was going to be the last year. That's kind of maybe the rumor that we had heard, just because of construction ramping up in DCA and the ability to maybe not have parades next year, at least during construction. And so that would potentially make Oogie Boogie Bash hard to do. But I'm telling you, Mondo, if they do Oogie Boogie Bash next year at DCA and they don't have the parade, that's messed up. That is
Hey,
messed.
I don't doubt it though. They did Star Wars night without fireworks.
Yeah, yeah.
Brutality. I can't believe that even happened.
But yeah, no, Oogie Boogie Bash. I'm not interested in going. For me, I look for like kind of I don't know, just when I want to have a good Halloween experience, I would rather have it at Disneyland. So I liked the idea of Oogie Boogie Bash when it was new. It was like something to do, something different with like new villains all the time. But for me, it just kind of got repetitive. But it's a great option for families that want something to do for Halloween, and that's why it keeps selling out. It's going to
Yeah.
keep selling out because of that. There's not a lot of family oriented things for people to do where kids can trick or treat. A lot of families don't even feel safe letting their kids trick or treat anymore in general, like in public. And so this is a safe way for them to let kids trick or treat each year, and it makes sense that it sells out, right? Like
Yeah.
the kids can use their costumes, they can go trick or treating, they can get their candy, and then on Halloween they can just do fun stuff at home. They don't have to worry about trick or treating.
Yeah, you did it already. You're done. You did your trick or treat. Uh, what about new characters? I know we've talked about it before, but I just want to go over it again. To Jamie's Lynn point, are we going to get new characters? The answer is yes. We are going to get two new characters. We just don't know who they are. I wish Disney would promote who is the new characters, to try to sell tickets, but I guess they're selling tickets anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we are going to have two new characters. One of them is going to be in Pixar Promenade, and a new one's going to be at Grizzly River Run. Those are the two. Are you hearing any rumblings, Danny? Like where they could take it? Is it going to be new characters? Do you think they go with a returning character? Like Maleficent or Mother Gothel. They could just go backwards instead of forward. What do you think?
I'm hearing a lot of stuff about DuckTales, so maybe some of the villains from DuckTales. It's kind of had a little bit more of a resurgence lately, and there's a big kick of Disney doing stuff from like Goofy movie in that era. So maybe we see like Magica Dispel or some of the other villains from that go into, because Magica Dispel, she could be a really good like face character that talks to someone, so that could be a good thing. I don't know.
Oh, wow, DuckTales. That's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of DuckTales at all.
The other villain I was thinking of was the one that's next to her on the right. I just don't know his name. I forgot his name.
I got it right here, Danny. Hold on. Quacker Jack.
No, it's Flintheart Glomgold. That's who it is.
Flit. I'd be like, who is this duck right here? I wouldn't know, I wouldn't be able to distinguish. Like, that's what's his name? Flynn what?
Flintheart. Flintheart Glomgold. Glomgold.
Flintheart Glomgold. Dude, I've seen this guy before. I feel like I've seen him at I don't know if it was Oogie Boogie, but I've seen Don Carnage before. It might have been Oogie Boogie Bash. I've seen Don Carnage. Man, I didn't even think of that. Um, hmm. It's really hard to guess where Oogie Boogie Bash goes because uh, ever since they did Mother Gothel, Judge Doom, it's impossible to guess what direction they're trying to go, Um, wow, DuckTales. That's interesting. What about up here, Danny? Pixar Promenade. What do you think?
I feel like the easy thing would be for them to just put Lotso, but they already still do Lotso. He greets in front of Midway Mania, so I would say like what's the best thing you could think of is like Lotso as a villain there. We already had Sid, but Lotso still greeted last year in front of Toy Story Midway Mania, so I don't think that's necessarily the case, but I don't know what other villain from like the Toy Story Pixar era could go over there potentially.
I was thinking. Let me bring up some. Let me see. What do we got here? I got a big old ad. Buddy Pine.
Oh,
Uh,
Syndrome.
who's Rena? What's Rena from? Uh, Henry J. Waternoose. This is too complicated. I just need like a simple list. 13 best villains. Zurg would probably be the best ever if he was to come to Pixar Promenade. Chef Skinner. You think that'd be a good one? Chef
They
Skinner?
could do that. They could do Chef Skinner.
Is he really a villain though?
Yeah, for sure.
Mordu from Brave. Wow, nobody's saying that. Uh, Evelyn DeVore, The Incredibles 2. You know what? I'm going to say it's her. That probably looks like the easiest costume to make. I'm going to say it's her. Evelyn DeVore coming to Oogie Boogie Bash. We book it. Who else do we got here? Hopper, never. It'll never happen. Randall, I wish. I've asked for that so many times. Sid Phillips, you already got. Who do they consider the top three? I gotta see. Charles F. Muntz from Up.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah, they did Judge Doom. He's. I feel like Stinky Pete. They just would never do it.
They have that as a character though.
Stinky Pete.
Yeah, they've had it in Japan. So the costume exists, but it doesn't talk.
Way.
It doesn't talk.
Stinky Pete. You said Japan?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look, Danny. Meet and greet. Was it a meet and greet or like a show?
Meet and greet.
Damn, I'm not seeing nothing, Danny. I don't know if Stinky Pete's been a meet and greet.
Yeah, he has. He has.
Stinky Pete character meet and greet.
I've seen it before. Maybe it was a movie promo.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I know the costume exists.
All right. Who do you think they consider number one, Danny? Because that was number two. Stinky Pete was number two.
I don't know.
Syndrome. You think they go Syndrome? Damn, he's from 2004. That's crazy. 21.
Yeah, Syndrome could be an easy one for them to do, and he's like He's kind of really bombastic, like Sid. So he's like very like he makes fun of people. He's really mean in that aspect. So like it'd be a good replacement for Sid because he would like make fun of people while they're walking and all that kind of stuff. So that could work.
He has like those clever things to say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what when I think of Syndrome. That's what I think. Syndrome would be awesome. Uh, we saw Yokai, animated villain. We could see this dude. I think it'd be cool. Syndrome would be cool. It's something different. You know what? Anything is possible after Dr. Doofenshmirtz because, wow. Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I never saw him in person. I didn't go to Oogie Boogie, but I saw a lot of videos. Darnell W. dropping 5 gifted membership. Let's go. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Darnell W. Growing the Fire community. I appreciate you so much. So much. Thank you, Darnell W.
They went to Nando 390, Halia Munoz, yours truly, Darling, Danny Boy, and Jennifer.
What's up, Danny Boy? Man. I always think it's weird that Disney does Oogie Boogie, but doesn't really promote what the event's going to be. But that's just, their formula's working. All their tickets are being sold out. All right. Let's move on from Oogie Boogie Bash. That's enough Oogie Boogie talk. We got some news that came out today, and it was surprising because I don't really feel like it was on the radar at all, but it's official. Today, it got announced that Pirates of the Caribbean will be getting off Lightning Lane. That's right. Pirates of the Caribbean only has until June 30th. So come July 1st, which right around the corner, it'll just be standby all over again. Do you guys remember the conversation we had not that long ago where we were talking about a possible queue could be created because that overflow of pirates is just not it. It locks up this in front of Cafe Orleans area, messes up all the walkways and stuff because Pirates gets busy. It's one of the more popular rides at Disney. What do you think, Danny? Are you shocked that they took it off Lightning Lane? Because it's not very normal that things get on Lightning Lane and then leave,
No, I'm so shocked that it lasted this long. With things like Paint the Night and Fantasmic running simultaneously, an extended Pirates queue that's been inflated due to Lightning Lane is really a huge issue, and it's becoming more of an issue when the Pirates line crosses and they have to have the people there at the cross to let people cross over, and it just makes it difficult. So I think this lets the line stay a little bit more manageable. It can be generally stuck to just the bridge, and that's about it, when they don't have the Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
So that's probably all they want it to be. But yeah, we've heard lots of rumors about potentially a queue coming. We always known the little jazz club they built in there for guests to sit has always been temporary. Scott Gustin was talking about too how eventually both gift shops and that Royal Street Veranda little food window would be utilized as an indoor extended queue for Pirates of the Caribbean. And then potentially we might see Lightning Lane return for that experience. So.
Yeah, because I feel like Disney wants it to be on Lightning Lane. I think it's important for them to have it on Lightning Lane. But I am glad it's not on Lightning Lane. It's nice to be like, I'm going to go left or I'm going to go right. I get to choose instead of you're forced right every time. You have to go right. What are your thoughts if they do start construction for the queue? Do you think that's like a next year thing? Or they're going to try to really get this going?
No, I don't think it's a next year thing. I think the fact that the jazz club exists and they spent a little bit of time on it means there's probably a few years out of it, right?
Okay.
I think they probably want some of these other projects completed, and then that's something that they'll think about later on. Um, there's still too a lot. We've heard a lot of rumors, not only about this, but in general, a sort of reworking of New Orleans Square. It's one of the spots in Disneyland that is always a problem when it comes to crowds and stuff. So there could be something, down the road for New Orleans Square, and that'll just get lumped into it with it. But I
Hmm.
think for now, turning it into a little jazz club for extra seating is a perfect use right now for it. So
In reality, New Orleans Square has got a lot of attention. That remodel they did with Haunted Mansion freed up a lot of space just outside of Tiana's Palace. Uh, we got Tiana's Palace. How crazy is that? That's another update that happened. But yeah, I guess I could see it. Maybe like 3 or 4 years down the line, they start thinking about that queue, right? Uh,
mhm.
maybe that queue for pirates is more in line with like when they start finishing the parking structure, because their whole mentality will be more people, bigger capacity. There's going to be more. They're creating a whole parking lot for a reason, because they expect bigger crowds. So yeah, that'll probably be it. Let me throw one random out there at you, Danny. What the hell's happening with Autotopia electric cars? We've heard crickets. And I feel like they say it was a done by next year kind of thing, right?
Yeah, they were. The LA Times article said it would be open by 2026. Um, so we have to just keep an eye out on when Autopia goes down again. It's not scheduled to go down anytime soon, but it's got to have to go down soon. To me, this kind of indicates what we're going to be getting, and I was curious with it. Um, I was curious with it because to me, the article was really careful to say the electrification of Autopia. It didn't say like they would be electric vehicles, which, if you think about that, it could just be something as simple as like the car being tethered to the track allows it to, just like the monorail. The monorail gets its power by touching the little wire on the side of the track, and as long as the monorail is touching that, it gets power. And so there are a lot of safety issues with that, right? Because the live wires like can kill you if you touch it, literally. Um, and so maybe there was an issue there, but I thought, oh, maybe we see like sort of like a slot car version of Autopia. But to me, this is sounding like we're getting all new Autopia vehicles, and they're probably already being built off site somewhere, and they're probably going to be battery operated, and then they'll just have to be charged, right? So that's my guess, is that they can probably do it last minute, because it's literally going to be like goodbye all the old vehicles and bring in the new ones. So
How long ago has it been, if you can remember, where we got all new vehicles? Do you remember?
2008
Oh, so
or no,
long.
1998. Sorry,
So
1998.
these vehicles been grinding, dude.
Yeah, they've been grinding for almost what, 20 years? No,
Yeah,
30 years.
a whole lot, like 20, 25 years. Oh man. Well, we'll see. Eric has an interesting thought. What are your thoughts on pirate themed bar slash lounge, a la Olga's Cantina at Disneyland? Well, Florida's getting something like that. Do you think Disney cares to do something like that, Danny? Where we get a pirates lounge slash bar?
Oh yeah, I think Disney would love the opportunity to have something like that, and I feel like the best place for that would the only place that they could do it, in my opinion, would be they could either do it two ways. It could be a fun private spot on Tom Sawyer's Island that gets done in the future, and like you
Oh
have
my
to like take
god!
a boat over there to get there, and then there could be like a pirate lounge there, or or they take away 21 Royal and Walt Disney's suite that they built, and they put it up there. To me, it's like I don't know how often 21 Royal is selling out. I know a lot of people do it. I see people go up there all the time, and it's like a $15,000 something experience. So
I feel it's not used as much as it was before. Like
yes, I want to say
pre
like
20.
it has to be like at a point where uh like it's not making them money, you know what I mean? And then they want to use it for something else. But what I could see easily being done is 21 Royal just being given to Club 33. And then
Mhm.
like they have more Club 33 space for like something else. I would see it going to Club 33 first before going to something like a pirate lounge, because Club 33 is doing very well. You know what I mean? So they would just, I could just see them giving it to them to have more expansion for that.
I was gonna say, Danny, I think they would go the route of like put it at a hotel, put a pirates bar lounge at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I, I would like that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. We had
Everybody wants it in the park.
I just want to answer this question real quick. We've had Chris Hatch ask over and over again about which houses are usually available for early entry. Um, Chris, it's usually any maze that's available. Every year it's been all of the mazes for the most part. There's just been few exceptions where some don't open. So like when I went, uh, pretty much every maze was available, except for The Last of Us, because it for whatever reason they couldn't get it open. And some people chose to use their entire early entry to wait in line for a maze that wasn't open yet, which I thought was really stupid. And then some people went and did everything else like me. So it just kind of depends. I would assume everything should be open, with very few exceptions. So just assume they're all going to be, and then they'll let you know day of what is. So the only thing that's different now is I think they no longer allow you to stay in the park anymore, Mondo. Right? You have to exit. Everyone has to exit now.
Nah, they let you stay in the park. They
Oh,
let you.
they do. Okay.
Yeah. If you're already in the park and you have early entry, you could stay in there. They tried to do that for like one day, Danny. It was obviously terrible. It didn't go well.
Yeah, because I remember like
Uh,
some you told me like they're not letting you stay anymore, and I'm like, what? That's the best part, and
dude,
it
they were
didn't
doing
last very long, I guess.
they were doing weird operation stuff for early entry, but I think they figured it out. Just stay in the park. Go. For the most part, early entry is really Curious George houses, which I
Yeah,
think they're unannounced, or lower lot.
yeah, like the
So,
ones, like for instance, like the Monstrous maze, like that wasn't available,
yeah.
and that's like the one that dumps out to the Parisian Courtyard. And then another one that wasn't available was whatever one was in The Walking Dead. So like a lot of times those right there are not always available. My guess is because they're like there's a lot of operational stuff right there park wise, so like it just makes sense for them to not open that yet just then. um and like the monstrous ones like right there in the middle of everything. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like Mondo said, pretty much everything lower lot and everything on that like expansion pad on the upper lot that goes beyond, you can expect those to be open, and majority of the stuff's on the lower lot anyway. So
We got some news. We got some news that came out of Midsummer Scream. Shout out to Midsummer Scream. I can't wait. I might have to be there every single day. But they confirmed their panels. So the big panels, obviously the presentations everybody's hoping for, is right here. On Saturday, we're gonna have Fright Fest, Not Scary Farm, and 13th floor. So
13th floor or 13th door?
I know. I'm like trying. My eyes are deceiving me right now. 13th floor, which they're kind of like a lot of stuff. And then on Sunday, so all the people trying to go to Midsummer Scream, these are the dates to look at. On Sunday will be Castle Dark, Queen Mary's Dark Harbor, and most importantly, Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go! So, plan accordingly if you're going to Midsummer Scream. These are not the only panels that are important. There's so many other great panels. Midsummer Scream honestly takes a lot of like research of like, where do I want to take my time, and you know what I mean, like plan accordingly, because it's a lot. Midsummer Scream's a
Like
lot.
if you want to go to like Not Scary Farm or Halloween Horror Nights, like is there a point where it becomes too full and you can't, or can you show up and just get a spot at the back?
Um, from all the times I've ever been, Halloween Horror Nights is the only one where they reject people from going in because it's so packed. All the other panels, you never have an issue. For the most part, finding a seat, you really don't have an issue. It's just Halloween Horror Nights is ridiculous. You're going to Horror Nights, you're probably going to have to camp like 1 or 2 hours just to guarantee a seat. It's the hype's insane for Horror Nights. I'm not saying the hype is not insane for these other events, because it is, but Horror Nights is just on another level. On another level. I'm really curious. The reason I wanted to bring this up, Danny, we know Knott's Scary Farm goes every year to Midsummer Scream, and they don't announce nothing. It's just kind of how they do things. Fright Fest, they do announce, and then they kind of don't announce. It's
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. What I
This
wanted
year
to,
they're going as a combo.
well, what I wanted to talk about, we know Knott's has Nightmares Revealed. Nightmares Revealed is Knott's Scary Farm's announcement event. They've been doing it now ever since the pandemic. It's like a normal thing now. Do you think there is a chance that that Nightmares Revealed, whenever it is, I don't know the date because there's no date at this time, Nightmares Revealed will be Knott's Scary Farm and Fright Fest, both announcing things at Knott's Berry Farm? What? And, I know it's Six Flags. Some people were like, well, it's not Six Flags Magic Mountain. I don't care. It's Six Flags. We got Six Flags over here posting Knott's. I didn't want to believe a rumor like that, but I think there's some validity to it. How do you feel, Danny, if Knott's Scary Farm does Nightmares Revealed, and at some point they're like, but wait, there's more! Fright Fest! Blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you feel about it combining? And then we'll have a conversation of should they be separate. But at this point, how do you feel about the merger and them combining the haunt announcements? What do you think?
Well, Not Scary Farm is very important to the company. It makes the most money of probably of everything they do, literally.
Probably.
And at this point, and they wouldn't want anything to cannibalize that, right? And in my opinion, making Six Flags Magic Mountain any better, if now that they're the same company, would only cannibalize Knott's Berry Farm from people who live in LA that would normally make the trek down there, because they might say, oh, well, okay, I can get some of the Knott's stuff now at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and then I can go to HHN, so I don't even have to go to Orange County at all. So it would probably behoove them to not do a combo like that. I could see their presentation being comboed at Midsummer Scream, but I necessarily don't think that the Nightmares Revealed event would be outside of just Knott's, because that event needs to be Knott's, right? It needs to be a reason that you're coming to Knott's Berry Farm, and not also, they also want you to go to Six Flags too, but I just feel like there's a potential it could cannibalize a little bit of that. So
we got our Knott's adventure. Of course, Six Flags wants to mooch off Knott's. They want to mooch off Knott's event because they know no one wants to drive to Magic Mountain for an announcement event of mazes that they won't
finish on time.
Oh, our Knott's adventure coming in hot. How do you feel about? The thing is, Danny, Midsummer Scream is so late this year. It's August 15th. So I doubt that even Fright Fest really waits that long to announce everything. That's so late. You got to sell tickets.
I don't know, Mondo. They were building mazes with 2 weeks time.
It is.
Meanwhile, Halloween Horror Nights is starting in April,
They're
and
starting in February.
they're building mazes in 2 weeks.
That's crazy, man. Crazy time frames they were on last year. What about the argument about they're separate, do not combine? Like, how do you feel about that argument?
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're separate, but like Arnott's Adventure said, the person at Six Flags definitely wants to capitalize off of that, the popularity. If you live in Southern California or just in California in general, it's no, surprise to a lot of people that Knott's and Halloween Horror Nights are like the best things you can do for Halloween. Like the Hayride had a pretty big following, but then it kind of fell off after the pandemic. Dark Harbor, sort of the same thing, although they're trying to like rebuild themselves a little bit more so now. Um, so I feel like Six Flags has always kind of been an afterthought. I don't know. It's weird, Mondo, because when we were kids, I felt like Fright Fest was such a big deal, and now it's like not anything. But it was like such a huge deal back in the day. It
Yeah,
was like they made this big old deal that you could ride Colossus backwards, and it was like all in the dark, and like all this stuff.
I
That, like,
totally remember that, dude. That was a big deal.
yeah,
Well, I can't wait to just do. I just want to go do that. The
yeah, they had this like whole like bring a Coke can, like get some off your ticket, like all this stuff that I remember vividly when I was younger. And then like having covered theme parks for like 15 years, and like I almost never hear about Fright Fest except from like Theme Park Obsession or you. Those are the only people I ever hear talk about the Fright Fest. And it's not because I hate it or anything. It just never showed up anywhere. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Damn. Um, the way I look at it, I understand why Fright Fest would want to kind of merge the announcements with Nightmares Revealed, because you're talking to an audience that loves scary stuff. They're all about Scary Farm, so I get it. What a great time to market your other park and be like, "Hey, we're also doing this over here." Um, I don't see a problem with it, but I feel like the Scary Farm community, they're just not about it. Like, this is Scary Farm. You announce Scary Farm. That's it. All right? This is where you announce the Elvira Museum. This right here. We don't care about your other Fright Fest. But yeah, I it's gonna be a really weird year at Scary Farm. We've heard so many rumors. A Arkham Asylum house could be a thing, and Joker. Joker being in a scare zone. I've heard so many things. It's just like, how this is happening at Knott's. What? But it all makes sense when you just think about Cedar Fair and Six Flags are the same company. They just have a different name now somehow.
so since you've been to Fright Fest, Mondo, um, their pricing model, well, their model for the event is so different than all the other ones, just because it's included in your admission, right? It just becomes the park experience at nighttime. So how does pricing work like at Six Flags? I haven't been recently. Are the tickets variable? So like some days they're more expensive than others. So if you went on a day that had Fright Fest, like that'd be a more expensive day than a day that didn't have Fright Fest.
Well, Fright Fest, the way it works is you like the scare zones are part of your ticket, like your day ticket. You have to pay to go in the houses.
Okay,
So
so
that,
it's like an add-on to your ticket.
yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it. How do I buy tickets to Fright Fest? I thought I was there. Are they not for sale yet? Man, maybe they're not for sale. Wow, I thought, um, because it says ticket and passes. Uh, damn. they have not updated their houses. They got all this Stranger Things. Yeah, no updates on the website. But the way it works at Six Flags, you have to pay extra, which is usually like $45. Maybe it could be higher this year to do the mazes. So that's the way it works. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. It's such a
Well, if you had with your pass, since you had the like really expensive pass at Six Flags, at a time, did that include Fright Fest access, or did you also have to pay the $40 that night to get access to the mazes?
Well, that's a thing, Danny. Last year, if you had the highest pass, you could. Fright Fest was just included. I get a wristband for free anytime I would go. There was some rumor that this year that was not going to be the case. I would have to pay for those, to go in the houses. I would have to pay. I don't know if Fright Fest is going to go that route, but we'll see. I don't know too many people to hey, what do you think about this? And trust an opinion. It's tough, but I'm excited. I hope we get news soon about Nightmares Revealed. It's only going to be July in a couple days. It's so crazy. Oh, man. Announcement season has been off this year. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Please understand, in the chat, Mondo says they think that Disney will lean heavy into sound design for the cars on Autotopia, like how electric cars have weird sounds at low speeds. So they're either going to pump in motor noises, or they're going to pump in futuristic car noises.
Those or I don't even know how to make the noise.
Yeah.
There is somebody I asked about that Autotopia thing, about the noise, because that's kind of one of the nostalgic things about Autotopia is the noise. That Autotopia is very loud, very loud. You hitting the bar too. I don't know, because when I think of electric cars, I think of the rally monster car trucks that came to Camp Snoopy recently. They literally make no noise at all, and they're super slow. So that's how I was like, I don't know. I get a little worried about the electrification of Autotopia. I like Autotopia being gas, honestly. I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that, but I like Autotopia the way it is. I think that's the best way I could say it. Mono, speaking of July, what 4th of July event are you doing this year? Knott's, Disneyland, Universal? Are you trying to do a 4th of July anything, Danny? Or you're like, I'm staying home?
No, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, really.
I haven't thought about it either. I kind of, for some reason, lean towards Universal. Disneyland, it's just so hard at the front castle. Disneyland just gets hella packed on July 4th.
Plus, Mondo doesn't have a reservation, and they're already gone. So
really? For July 4th, they're gone?
Yeah, they're gone.
Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Universal, honestly. Maybe even Six Flags. They go pretty hard on fireworks out there at Six Flags, surprisingly. Let me see. So today, it was kind of rumored that we were going to get a house announcement for Orlando, and we haven't got anything. Everybody was, where's the HHN announcement? I hope we still get one. I'm not holding anything. I didn't expect an announcement for Hollywood, but it's been rumored that Hollywood might get an announcement this week, maybe Friday. So only time will tell. Let me see. There is one thing, since we were talking about Six Flags, I just want to talk about it real quick. I had a chance to do DC Heroes and Villains Fest. This is it's a returning event. It's a second year at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's super cheesy and corny and very comic booky, but that's what I love. I love all of those things. To me, I just want to applaud the teams and all the people that made this happen, all the workers that are part of this. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this event to life. I've never seen so many people having fun at DC Land. Usually people kind of don't hang out in this area at all. So to see a crowd and all of a sudden see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Joker, Harley Quinn, there's Robin at some point, Catwoman. It's crazy. It's crazy what they've been able to pull off. Dare I say it, this has been cooler than anything we got at Avengers Campus. Weird as that is. But I applaud the teams that are part of this. Thank you. If you are trying to make it to DC Heroes and Villains, it's on Fridays and Saturdays, and it all kicks off on at 5 o'clock. So it's like an event that happens from 5 to 9. So check it out. If you have a Six Flags pass, this is the time to go. And it all goes down pretty much at this stage. And they do meet and greets all around it after they do like moments and stuff.
Did you get to meet with Batman?
Dude, I got I got to post them. I just haven't had a chance to post. I met Batman. Batgirl's actually part of it. Man, there's just so many characters, dude. These people are awesome too. Like that portray these characters. I had a blast. I super recommend. Super recommend. All right. I'm just going through the comments right now. I'm going to California, Great America for fireworks. They decided to actually still invest in their 4th barbecue and fireworks. Okay. Any speculation on Coco, the ride location? I've heard so many rumors. Don't know what to believe. It's going behind Incredicoaster. Just simple as that. I don't think there's nowhere else to put it.
I think Scott Gustin shared a really great updated photo that.
Let's talk about that, Danny.
Yeah, yep. that mice chat was able to get. I don't know if it was an aerial or if it was from like a building across the way, but it's an amazing aerial shot right there. It's got to be from a helicopter, my guess. But that shows you just how big that space is.
Huge.
That's
huge.
It's bigger. That site is bigger than the site of the building that holds Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. So, but we have to think it has to hold not only Avengers Infinity Defense, but it also has to hold the new portion of the land that will house the queue and attraction for the flight lab, as well as all the new spaces people will walk in, including the entrance and the queue for the ride, plus the ride building itself. So that is a lot of space, though. It's a lot of space there. So
I'm happy to see Disney or just Disneyland not messing around. They're moving fast. Obviously, look at that. They got holes on the ground, like retaining walls being created there. I was talking to a buddy, and he was saying that the sets that we're going to see in Infinity Defense might have the same grand effect like the AT-ATs in Rise of the Resistance. So these gigantic sets, you're going to be going through, looking up. You won't just be looking straight. You're going to be looking up and like things happening and whatever. Has Infinity Defense grown on you, Danny?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want 3D, and I think it's going to be 3D. So if it's 3D, then no. It'll be a one and done for me. I'll do it once, and that's it.
I'm excited. Recently, we just had the screens updated at Transformers 3D in Hollywood. It's beautiful ride right now, man. I think if this is a brand new ride, brand new technology, I think they're gonna have. It's weird to say this. Good screens, good screen technology. Maybe that 4K, maybe 8K for all we know by the time this thing comes out. Maybe there's really good screens. I wish it was animatronics, but I don't think so. The things I've heard about Infinity Defense, Danny, I heard it's just going to be a big mumbo jumbo. A character comes out, uses his powers, and you just move right on to the next thing. So, there's that character, uses powers, moves on to the next thing. It's going to be like that. And then Thanos, I guess, gets taken down at some point. Oh man. Let me see. Any speculation on moments with Walt's grand opening? It's finally gonna open on time. Is it gonna finally open on time? Uh, where are you at with that, Danny? With the Walt statue or Walt animatronic?
I haven't heard much at all. We heard rumors that we would have um, annual pass holder previews, but we're running out of weeks, like Mondo said.
Yeah.
So we've
Where's
only
the
got
announcement?
we've only got 2 full weeks before the week of the 17th. So there's no reason why it couldn't be also the week of the 17th if they were doing previews that week. But um, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Does this do people dirty, kind of? Because, like, only the highest magic keys are available? You know what I mean?
On that week, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it helps them. It helps them kind of manage how the crowding is going to be because once August hits and those passes, it's going to be a free for all. People wanting to go see this.
Every
So
every magic key holder wants to see this.
yeah,
It's Walt Disney.
so
Uh,
they will. I think it lets them kind of work out some of the bugs, figure out how they're going to do it, how they're going to do crowd control, how they're going to use the boarding group system, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, and I still think they're gonna use boarding groups. There's no space in Abraham Lincoln or what do they call it? What's that building called? There's like a name for
The
it.
Opera House.
Opera House. Opera House, it holds a lot of people, but not to the point of like a new attraction and a new attraction of this like this scale. Maybe it's one of those things where like they just need boarding groups in like the first half of the day, and then the second half it's just okay. You can wait in line. Um, I've heard nothing but great things about the Walt animatronic. Some things that I've heard, and I mentioned it to Danny, is that it's going to focus like on his childhood. And then Danny said, "Well, that's like Abraham Lincoln." Can you talk a little bit about that, Danny?
Yeah, the if it's set up the same way that Abraham Lincoln is, which it sounds like it is,
It sounds like it is, dude. Like
it's gonna be like 90% movie, like a documentary. Uh, and from what we've heard, the Walt One Man's Dream like show from Hollywood Studios will be a lot of that, right? And we've already seen that. Um, and then once the movie reaches a certain point where it's done, the screen lifts up and reveals the animatronic, and then Walt will give his speech, and it looks like in the photo he's like leaning on the desk, and
yeah.
then he probably will stand up after leaning on the desk and then start talking to everyone. So that's kind of how it'll work, and then the stage will rotate, in the future, because it's not going to do this. After the show's over, it'll rotate so that Lincoln's there, and then the next show will be Lincoln, and then it will like just rotate and rotate. So the theater's already set up that way with like Lincoln. They showed like his early life, like what he did when he was growing up, how he got into politics, and then they have the moment where it got to the point where he's now the president and he has to give his speech, his
Yeah.
Emancipation Proclamation, and then the thing goes up and then he gives this little thing. So
It seems like it's going to be the same formula, Danny.
mhm.
I'm excited. I've heard it's like an emotional experience kind of thing that we're gonna have here. So I'm very excited for Walt animatronic. The whole concept of Disneyland's birthday is gonna be a big day, Danny. I'm glad we have a reservation for July 17th. It's gonna be a hot day, very hot day. Um, man, I can't wait. To me, it's going to be an exciting thing. Like Walt in person, what the heck? So crazy. Um, all right, I think I've got to everything. Anything I've missed, Danny, that you wanted to talk about?
No, it's pretty much everything. We're still waiting on some of the announcements from Horror Nights. Other than that, it's just speculation at this point. Um, and we're kind of in a weird quiet spot for a lot of things. We know construction is going to ramp up in the parks and the hotels at Disneyland over the next few months, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well too. We haven't heard a lot of news about the themed suites over at the Pixar Place Hotel, and I would imagine some of those are probably nearing, their completion. They're probably done working on some of those things. So we might see a point where Disney shares a little fun clip on their social media randomly out of nowhere over the next month, showing the new themed Coco Suite or the new Incredible Suite over at the Pixar Place Hotel. So I would expect we'll probably see something from that soon as well.
I forgot to mention, or last thing I want you to talk about, Danny, because I know you saw like a lot of info on it, is VIP tours like took over the Carthay Circle expansion area or like event area. Like, what do you think about that? It's so
Yeah,
random.
so if you guys know that little space that's behind Carthay Circle, where they use for like the Food and Wine Festival and like Lunar New Year and all that, the space there, that little circular space, they've recently turned that into like a VIP tour garden, and like VIP tours meet up here for like their lounge. So essentially like they've got snacks there and drinks and tables to sit down, couches to sit at, and it's been completely walled off. I don't know if that's the plan moving forward or if they're just testing, the waters on what a lounge looks like. They're According to a lot of sources, there's been rumors that they want to try to revamp the VIP tour program, maybe offer some things like with Universal, where you start off at this really cool lounge. It really does feel like a VIP experience at Universal, and you get to enjoy a nice lounge to relax and kick off, and then eventually you come back to and have lunch and dinner there or whatever. And this is kind of maybe Disney trying to offer a similar experience. And this is probably not the final version of that. It's just, my guess is this is like a way for them to test it. So like see what the reaction is to some people, and then if they want to spend the money to convert something in the park to be a VIP lounge for guests that are on VIP tour, this could be a test of that.
I hate when we lose theme park stuff to this, man. That's how I feel, Danny. Put the VIP lounge somewhere else. Dude, I feel like this little area of Carthay could have been used for just fun meet and greets that are shaded. But yeah, I guess VIP. That's the route that they went. If you want to see the full video, this is from Ryan the Sidekick on Instagram. Check him out. He's posting a lot of stuff of the current Disneyland. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we missed. We talked about Knott's. Talked about Universal.
Why don't you let everyone know what you're doing tonight, Mondo?
Yeah.
If they want to follow you after this live onto another live.
We'll be live somewhere 6:45 p.m. from Knott's Berry Farm. Summer nights! I'll be live today from Knott's for 90s Rock Show. If you guys have followed me, you know how much I love 90s Rock Show. And they got the main stage today, which is badass. So,
and are you and Villains going to do any Summer Nights foods?
I'm going to try. I'm going to get a meal plan of something. I don't know what's calling my name. I really want those Papa Tacos, Danny. Ever since I saw our Knott's Adventure, I've been craving the Papa Tacos or something like that. Tacos de Papa, I think is what they were called. But yeah, we're going to be live from Summer Nights and Knott's today to watch 90s Rock Show. I'm not sure who's on the small stage, but it's usually someone fun. So we'll be checking out both. And then maybe we get back to Disneyland later on this week. I want to be back for, what is it called? Gosh, what is the parade called, Danny? I'm just like, I want to say electrical parade.
The night?
Gosh, I couldn't even think of it. Yeah, I want to be
You're
back.
Out of it today. You're out of it today.
I need this coffee. I'm drinking my first round of coffee right now. But that is it. Danny, oh my gosh, Baja Taqueria closed today. I'll just be getting some Sutters. That's been my go-to lately, or maybe
Sutters. Yeah, we did good with the pesto chicken sandwich there. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the tequila smoothie from Starbucks is bomb. I didn't even know that was a thing. What the heck? Starbucks with alcohol?
Yeah, what the heck? Does the Knott's Berry Farm Starbucks can serve alcohol?
Yeah. I hope you have a good night, Dark Star. Danny, any content or just in general, any podcasts or anything on the horizon to let people know?
Yes. Yeah, new podcast episode tomorrow. It's already uploaded, ready to go. So that's coming out. And then a new video as well the next day.
Heck yeah. So check that out on Danny's end. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all later tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us on this late speculation Sunday. But thank you, Danny. Most importantly, awesome live stream today. Smash the like button, everybody, and I'll see you guys around 6:45, 7 o'clock for some 90s rock show. We are firing it down, the Cali Bay. Just as Danny are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mondo.